James, what are you drinking on?
Just regular cranberry juice.
All right.
I think it's good for you. I think it's good for me, I mean.
All right. Hi, and welcome to the show. This is Seattle's #1 comic book podcast. Bonus episode tonight, and I'm Larry.
I'm James.
And this is like I said, bonus episode. And I want everybody to know that we do currently have email, just like everybody else in the world. It is that we are Seattle's #1 comic pod C at gmail.com. They wouldn't let me put the whole thing.
That's our email?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, no.
So there's no,
Good luck. Oh,
good
man.
luck getting a hold of us. So we're going to do a bonus episode.
All right.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's going to be a good one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. James, do you like the sea? Do you like going to the... I like going to the ocean. I don't know if I necessarily like going out on the ocean.
Oh, I stare at the sea every morning. My wife is the sea. My lady is the sea.
Oh, like, what's that song? Brandy?
Girl.
So,
Her eyes could steal a sailor from the sea.
You must have a screensaver because, you don't live near the ocean, do you? Well, we all live near the ocean.
I guess not near the ocean, but, we live by the Puget Sound here in Seattle.
We do.
I count that as the ocean.
I'll go out on an Argosy cruise or out on my neighbor's boat, but I don't necessarily like to go so far away from the shore.
Oh, well, Larry, you need some, rolling, you're not a rolling stone.
No, and the reason we're talking about the ocean is we recently discovered, well, several episodes back, one of my recent discoveries was Moby Dick. Bless you.
Yes.
This is the adaptation by Chaboté. His name is Christophe Chaboté, and it's Herman Melville's Moby Dick.
Yes. It's a graphic novel, so it's not really... we can't do it as our first issue.
We can't do it as a first issue, but James... I sold this on James, and
we have
James...
to make this extra episode because I like it so much.
James flew to Amazon, got it for $16.99 on the Prime, and read it cover to cover in one sitting. Right, James?
It's a good value because it really looks like very... it's high class. It's probably the classiest looking comic book I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's got what's called spot varnish on the cover. The words Moby Dick are in a very shiny. And then you see this massive whale going through. It's hard covered.
The whale is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Not beautiful in like the way that nature is beautiful. Like it's you see all these harpoons that are just like toothpicks sticking out of it, and it's gnarled, and you see the eye, and it doesn't even fit on the whole cover, and it's got this grayness to it.
Yeah,
and the darkness of the ocean.
That's what scares me about the ocean. The darkness.
Yeah. The ocean is dark.
It is very scary. So this was published by Dark Horse Books, and it is gorgeous to look at. It's going to look great on your shelf. It's going to look great on anybody's shelf you get this for. This is a great present, even for a non-comic book person.
It's for like a person who like maybe looks down their nose at comic books. Like I read smart books. Like, yeah, well, if you read Moby Dick, well, here's a good, maybe you'll like this.
Yeah, this is a great adaptation of the literary classic Moby Dick. Mm-hmm. And we should just dive right into it. Now, James and I were talking a little bit off camera about the book, the actual Herman Melville's novel. And I can't remember, James, did you say you have read it or read it in 7th grade?
I read it.
All those pages. Now, I recently listened listened to the audio version of it, and I highly recommend the audio version because a very stout actor is reading it, and it sounds so good. But
where did you read it through? Like
Audible.
or Audible?
And I don't have that information as to who the actor is who did it, but it is just so much fun listening to this. But I don't think I would ever be able to like heft and read, like maybe if I was on a cruise for a very long time. Well, maybe I wouldn't want to read Moby Dick on a cruise
Yeah.
ship. But
That'd be like reading
War and Peace.
Shoot.
What's the dictionary?
No,
the encyclopedia.
What's the one where the ship goes upside down?
Oh, Poseidon.
Poseidon.
I don't think I'd want to read that. So, James, everybody knows the story of Moby Dick. But
Yeah, I think they do. We don't even need to tell them.
Yes, but we should talk about this book at least.
Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit, I guess.
And what really struck you as what did I say when I brought this into my recent and decent? What did what sold you on this? You're a fan from the get go.
Yeah. Okay. So the big things for me on this book are the cover, killed it. It's black and white. I love black and white, and it's I'm very interested in readaptations of things that I've read or like seen movies of, or like books into movies or TV shows or those kinds of things. Like there's a lot of that, especially in comic books.
I like that too.
Usually it's a comic book into a movie, and you don't see. I mean, I guess maybe with like Stephen King or with like Neil Gaiman. Whatever. Neil Gaiman. I was going to say Neil Stephenson. He might do some stuff too. But they'd maybe do novels into comic books. But this one, that made me interested because I'd read this book, I guess. Yeah.
I like that too. I like reading a book, and then like as soon as I know that it's being turned into a movie, I'll get a little jazzed up about it. So
yeah,
it is.
I mean, I'll definitely see the movie if I've read the book.
Yeah. Even if you know it's going to be a bad movie,
yeah.
Like you're still
just to be able to say like, yes, I read the book, it was better.
Yeah. So we read this book. This is a great book. This is black and white, like James said, and it is just the classic telling. But what this book does really, really well is, I alluded to it earlier, the novel is very wordy. It is super, super flowery.
It's got a lot of
flowery.
It's like some purple prose.
Some real flower. I can't say it. Flowery language, and
a lot of descriptions of like the viscera of a whale.
Yeah, there's lots of descriptions of everything. Actually, there's a lot of description. There's probably
how many ropes are on the boat?
100 pages of just the different whales. Like I really enjoyed that part too.
Exaggeration, 100 pages.
I really enjoyed that part too. I learned so much about whales. Yeah. But
they're big.
But what
the ambergris? How do you say that? I've only read it. Ambergris. You know what I'm talking about?
Ambergris. Yeah,
ambergris.
Yeah, there's 100 pages on that.
Yeah, that's where you make perfume out of, and it's like the best part of the whale, but there's only like 10 pounds of it or something.
Yeah, and you got to dig deep for it.
Got to dig deep.
What's so nice about this is that it's true to the novel.
Worth more than its weight in gold.
Yeah, it's true to the novel, and it's also
historically.
It's really fast. It's not fast paced. It's well paced.
Well paced. It is very well paced because it's a big novel to cover in one graphic novel.
Right. So this was quite an undertaking, and I really, really do like the jumps that the book makes in when our main character, Ishmael, well, I guess the main character is a giant white whale, but the teller The person telling the story, the narrator of this story, the narrator of this story is Ishmael, and he comes to town.
Call me Ishmael.
And he wants to become a whaler. And well, he's adventurous, and he meets Queequeg, my favorite character.
Queequeg, one of the greatest names in all of literature.
Yeah, he is such a cool character, and it's a really kind of like relationship that happens really fast.
Yeah,
between those
and
two.
Queequeg looks so cool.
Oh my god!
You know, describe Queequeg a little bit. So in this like black and white style, like there's a lot of great use of darkness. Like a lot of the settings, it's at night, or it's a dark sea, or it's in a dark room, and like it's very true to the description in the meeting of Queequeg and Ishmael is very true to like what I remember of reading it in the book, where it's like there was just like a candle lighting him, and he was like smoking a pipe in the middle of the dark room or something, and he had this tattoos of a savage, and he wasn't wearing a shirt or
he's not wearing any clothes.
Yeah,
he comes to bed in the raw.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
And
he had that weird hat.
Yeah, so he wears a like a gentleman's jacket and a stovetop hat, but he is covered in tattoos. And this scene where
but like tribal tattoos.
Yeah, his face is all tattooed.
You don't know what tribe or what.
And when Ishmael has taken his bed,
mm-hmm.
he's rented the other half of the bed. I just love the fact that like
half a bed.
He can rent half a bed, and so he's rented half this bed. And unknowns to Queequeg, he's asleep when Queequeg shows up, and Queequeg plans to make quick work of this. and like there's a picture of him coming at him with like a tomahawk ready to go. Oh, it is just awesome.
But then you realize it's all good. Queequeg's on his side.
Yeah,
and they become like good friends.
One of the pages I got posted here is Queequeg shares his money. And he's like, we are married now. We've shared the bed. We are married.
We shared the bed.
And he gives Ishmael a hug, and Ishmael is just tiny in his arms. Ishmael's small. Queequeg is big, and it's just like it is funny. And Queequeg is also the catalyst for getting Ishmael on the whaling ship. Getting him on the whaling ship, because otherwise nobody would take this little runt.
He's a greenhorn. So this is the next like classic scene. So when I think of Moby Dick, the first scene I think is like meeting Queequeg, and then the second one is like getting on the ship and meeting Queequeg proving his ability. They're like, hey, we need a harpooner, how good are you? And then he throws the harpoon and hits like, what is it, a gold coin?
No, the gold coin comes later. He hits the mast from.
He hits the mast
from
the other end of the way far away.
Yeah, he proves his merit and his medal, but
and he doesn't like say anything. He just kind of speaks with his actions.
He speaks with his actions, and his actions dictate what he gets paid. I thought that was pretty cool.
And it worked really well in this, like that scene worked really well in this comic. It didn't have to have any words.
Yeah, it's almost wordless.
There are so many pages in this book that don't have any words, and it just blew me away because like it's so like I was expecting to really have to cram a lot of like whole pages of dialogue and stuff in here, or backstory explanation kind of things, and he just did a great job like letting the pictures tell the story, and the pictures are very detailed.
Yeah.
Like I don't really even know what this style is. It's like a not wood block print,
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It almost looks like it's printed wood with like a wood block,
Yeah.
And he is